the Google actually is not recording. Now it is recording is going on.
So,
Okay,
sir.
sir, you can
Okay.
start now. Welcome
Okay,
to
sir.
this online platform. And now, without delay, I request our resource person to continue.
Sir. Thank you, sir. So, many, many thanks to our assistant director, Vijay Kumar Sahu, and I am also conveying him the happy Guru Purnima. He is also a teacher. So,
All are requested. Please write your enrollment number. Please. All are requested to write your enrollment number for official purpose. Please write your enrollment number. All are requested to write your enrollment number so that it will be recorded. Please write your enrollment number. Am I audible?
yes.
Please write your enrollment number. Kobita Barik, Purnima Paikrai, Shraddhanjali Barik, please write your enrollment number. This is a must. This is the attendance sheet.
Sir, I have written already before.
Please write your enrollment number. Now it is not showing in the chat box.
Okay.
In the chat box, it is not showing. Only Rakesh Kumar Raut is roll number is shown in the chat box. Purnima Paigra is all right. Bapi Panda. Okay, next. Because attendance is very, very important. Shraddhanjali Barik. Next. Jyoti Chawla, please write your enrollment number. All are requested to write your enrollment number for official purpose because this will be because it's an online platform and for official purpose it is a must. So you have to write your enrollment number for official purpose. Now, sir, you can continue.
Sir, namaskar. I have written my number, sir.
Okay. It's all right. But those who have not written, please, you are requested to write your enrollment number so that it can be recorded. Okay, sir.
Okay, sir.
Sir, you can continue, sir.
Okay, thank you, sir. Thank you.
Okay.
So, my dear friends, good evening to all. So, we have successfully completed from Unity 1 to Unity 8. First is the generalization, second is the causation, third is the objectivity, fourth is the ideology, then Greek and Roman historiography, then Chinese historiography, then history of early India, then medieval historiography in Western. These are the units which I have already covered. So our next unit is medieval historiography, Arabic and Persian. So my dear friends, so the origin of the historiography in Arabic, or so to say, in Islamic civilization, is to be sought in the Quran and Hadith. Hadith means the prophetic tradition. The detailed reference to the prophets and their followers of the past contained in the Quran created a historical sense among the Muslims, and it grew stronger with the passage of time. It makes its reader conscious of the fact that history is a continuous process, influenced by important ideas of the great men whose appearance on human scene is a great event of history. It also provides historical information concerning the life and actions of the prophet and the community which he gave leadership. So all this created awareness about time among the Muslims who realized the need to compile the history of life and times of the prophet and his immediate successors for the benefit of posterity. Every effort seems to have been made by the early writers of Islamic history to ascertain the authenticity of the sources of information because the Quran teaches its followers to ascertain the truth. The critical method called Sila-Sila-e-Isnan means chain of narratives employed in ascertaining the authenticity of a report about a historical event help the historians achieve objectivity in their approach to great extent. In fact, the importance of the source and cross-checking it with corroboration from other sources to establish authenticity was the first established during the process of the compilation of Prophet actions and his saying, hadith. These compilations were done by scholars for providing interpretations of various events as also for legal purpose. The teachings of the Quran, the life of the Prophet, and also the Arabic language spoken and written during the time of the Prophet. So what happened, my dear friend? This is about the medieval historiography, Arabic and Persian. So here it is written about the Quran and Hadith. Hadith means the prophetic tradition and the detailed reference of the prophets and their followers of the past contained in the Quran created a historical sense among the Muslims. So whenever we are going to see the sources of the Muslim records, so it is already written about the followers and the prophets in the Quran. It makes the reader conscious of the fact that history is a continuous process. So from the very beginning of the Muslim history, if we follow Quran as a sources of information or hadith, we will see that history is a continuous process, and it makes its readers and it makes its readers conscious of the fact that history is a continuous process, influenced by the important ideas of the great men. Suppose we will see about the Prophet Muhammad, his life and his teachings. We will find it find it from Quran, and we will also see what are the important ideas, what are the important teaching materials of the Prophet Muhammad to the society. Because the Muslims, they believed the truth. Always they believed the truth. I have already discussed with you what are the objects of the Prophet Muhammad, La ilaha illallah. In our last class, I have already told you what is the La ilaha illallah. That means there is one Dhamma. But the Prophet Muhammad, he has told to his followers. So historians achieve objectivity in their approach to a great extent. In fact, the importance of the source and cross-checking it with the corroboration from the other sources. So, what is about the historians? Whenever we will get a source or sources, we are able to make it cross-checking at the simultaneously with the other sources. That is the first principle of the historian. So by this way, we check the authenticity was first established during the process of the compilation of the perfect actions and his sayings. So sayings means hadith. So what he has preached, that is known as a hadith in Muslims. These compilations were done by the scholars for providing interpretations of various events is also for legal purposes. So it was interpreted, it was analyzed for various purposes and for the legal purpose. The teachings of the Quran, the life of the Prophet, and also the Arabic language spoken and written during the time of the Prophet. So it was written in Arabic language. In fact, this makes the Arabic historiography an important part of Islamic culture. So what happened if you want to write something on the Muslim history, we have to know the Arabic language because it was written in Arabic language, and the Arabic historiography was an important part of our Islamic culture. So you see how the Arabian historiography developed during the time of the Prophet Muhammad, recognizing its significance in the history of history writing. So recognize its significance. So Arabic language has a tremendous influence, has a tremendous significance for history writing. The Jews scholar Bernard Lewis remarks, interest in the past soon became a distinguishing characteristic of Muslim civilization. So, what is the contribution of Prophet Muhammad? What he has advised? What is the teachings of Prophet Muhammad? Where he took his birth? So, this is all about the knowledge of the past. So the interest of a person is tremendously developed when the writing of history was started. So we will now will see this is all about the introduction. So now we'll see the early Arabic history writing. The beginning of a scientific historiography in Arabic may be traced to the 2nd century Islam, that means 8th century AD, and is associated with the life and activities of the Prophet. What happened? This historiography is associated with the life, teachings, and activities of the Prophet. Before it, there was a memory bank to serve as a source of information. So before that, before writing of the history, just it was a memory bank. What in our memory, just we are able to write. But now, after the development of historiography, now the concept of the teachings were changed. We have already kept it in a written form for the future generation. In other religious traditions, the memory bank is existed for thousands of years, but in Islamic tradition, it was replaced by written sources after the end of 1st century of Islam. So after the 1st century of Islam, the Islamic writing or the Islamic historiography has developed. No doubt, human brain has astonishing capacities to preserve information about the past, yet the long passage of time could distort the information and events. So, ଆମେ ମଧ୍ୟ ଦେଖିବା ଗୋଟେ ଜିନିଷ ଆମେ ଯେତେବେଳେ ଦେଖିବା Vedas, it is also known as a Srutis because the people were from father to son, from son to son, they were remembering it through memory. So, so there is a chance of not to revive or not to memorize these histories. So what happened? Now they have kept it in a record form. This is so. This is all about the history writing. Then we will see what is the role of, what is the impact of 8th and 9th century historians. A large corpus of historical literature was produced by the Muslim scholars in Arabic during the 2nd century of Islam. So, what happened? A large number of historians, they have written, a large number of historians of Muslim scholars. They have written in Arabic language. Of the early historians, mention may be made of Ali bin Muhammad al Madani. He was a he was a prolific writer. He was a prolific writer, reported to have composed hundred of books. So what happened? Ali bin Muhammad al Madani, who died in 840 AD, he was a prolific writer and reported who have composed hundreds of books. He wrote on the history of Caliphate and monographs on the history of Basra and Khursan are of great importance. So he has written the history book of Basra and Khursana are of great importance. Though none of his works have survived the ravage of time, the passage quoted by other writers in their works testify to the importance of his pioneering efforts. So what happened? No books are survived till now. Still then, it was regarded as a great historical works. Inspired by Al Madani, Muhammad bin Omar al Waqdi, uh, Ibn Sad, and Ahmad bin Yaha al Balzuri composed important works that left enduring impression, which is discernible in the critical accuracy of historical information amongst the historians of the succeeding period. All Waqti's history has been written in a plain native style. His Kitab al Magid gives a comprehensive account of the campaign led by the Prophet. Ibn Sa'd utilized it in the preparation of his history of the Prophet, but supplemented it by incorporating the Prophet's edits, letters, and copies agreements that were available. As regards Ahmad bin Yahya al-Bazuri, he brought to completion his celebrated history entitled Futub ul Buldan, sometimes after 1861 AD. The study of the extant copy of Futu al Baldan shows that before its completion, the compiler had prepared an earlier version which was more voluminous. Al Bazuri seems to have incorporated all the information that he had collected from different sources. So, besides information about the life and achievements of the Prophet and the important events that took place during the times of Caliphs, the Arab conquest of non-Arab lands, including Iran, Makran, and Sindh provinces in India have been incorporated in this work. So he widens the scope of history by departing from pure political events and accounts of the conquest. So here we have seen that so many writers of Muslims, they written in Arabic languages. So, and it is all about the Muslim history. So by this way, what happened? The historiography, it was a broadened, it was a widened. So many works were developed. So it is all about the contribution of Muslim history to the historiography, and it is the contribution of 8th and 9th century historians. So now we will come and we will see 10th century historians. So this is all about the history and the historians. So we will see the 10th century historians. The classical tradition established by the above historians reached its culmination in the celebrated history of Muhammad bin Jarir al-Tabri, entitled Tariq al-Rasul ul-Mubak, History of the Prophets and Kings. So during this period, they have written so many books. It may also be added that Tabri's history is the first source to record the great appear that the teachings of the Prophet and among the youth and the downtrodden people in the early days of the Islam. So what happened? He is the first historian, so to say, Tabri, who has given stress or who has given importance to the downtrodden people and the youth. Before him, no one has done so. He points out that the early companions of the Prophet, most of whom were looked down upon the Meccan aristocrats for their low social status, became the leaders of Islamic revolution. So what happened? The low status people, the downtrodden people, they took the leadership of Islamic revolution, which Tabri has written in his history. Further, Tabriz Tariq pointed out the ideological commitment to Islam and the ideological unity of a Muslim community. So what happened? He tried to bring a unity among the Muslim people about ideology and the ideological unity among the Muslim unity. So what does you mean the ideological unity? So here I want to say that whenever we are all the Muslim people, we have same goal, we have same religion, we are worshiping the same people. So by this way, he tried to bring unification among the Muslim community. Across the lands, although the political fragmentation had taken place during his own time. He not only did it in India, but also in all the outside countries of India. So to say, in world. In short, his taik is valuable in so far as it registers the socio-religious changes brought about by Islam. So he has given also one interesting thing is that what is the contribution of Islamic people to socio-religious and how they brought a change in the society and religion. It is the most important point. Then, with all Musdi, a junior contemporary of Al-Tabri, a fresh intellectual element enters into Arabic historiography. Al-Musdi is indeed entitled to be reckoned amongst the major Arabic historians. Then the next important historian, who is Al-Musdi. He was not only a historian but also a geographer in his own right. His geographical information was gained chiefly by his wide travels. He was thus able to add a new dimension to Arabic historiography by combining geography with history, since human history exists in a definite environment. So, all Muslim, what he did actually, he incorporated geography with history. So it is a new dimension. So the scope of history gradually developed and widened. Then he was thus able to add a new dimension to Arabic historiography by combining geography with history, since human history exists in a definite environment. Al-Musli describes the environment of a country with the history of its people in his work Muraj al-Jahab, midway of a goal. He recognizes the principles of scientific descriptions and of correction and coordination of human action and physical facts. Though Al-Musli frequently indulges his cosmographical theories borrowed from earlier works, his main contribution was the application of the results of his travels and personal observation of history. So he has made a moved the entire world, so to say. So he introduced geography in history, and he has also applied his personal experience and personal observation to history. Then the cause and effects in related phenomena which we have discussed in causation. He has also successfully implemented the causation to history. So al-Masri is the precursor of Ibn Khaldan, who is considered a philosopher of history and the father of modern sociology. So what happened? So Ibn Khaldan, who is a great historian and the predecessor and the contribution of all Muslim mostly has a great impact on the mental horizon of Ibn Khaldan. All Musli Murad, all Jahab rest on a certain theoretical foundations. It's another reflected thoughtfully on the method and purpose of history. All this made early Arabic historiography rich both in content and quality. So this is all about the contribution of Arabic historiography on history. So, so my dear friends, here I want to say that from the beginning of the Muslim history, the Arab language has taken a most important place. The Arab language, the historians, they started to write in Arabic language and they started to write on the history of Muslims. So first they have tried to write on the Muslims, the Muhammad's teachings, his life, his origins of the Muslims, like this. But gradually it has taken a widened shape. Geography, then the other sources of sources they have also consulted, and gradually in the field of socio-religious, political, it took a turn. Definitely, it brought a change in the writing of history or so to the historiography. So this is all about the 10th and the 8th, 9th century historians. If you have any doubt, kindly ask me. Hello? Hello? Okay, I will go to the next sub point, Arabic historians of the later period. Or anything, anyone want to ask any question?
No,
Hello?
sir. No,
That's
sir.
it? Okay?
No, sir. Understandable, sir.
Okay. So it is all about the history and the historians. Here nothing is new to be confused. So this is all about the history, how Muslim history is gradually developed. So the next important point is Arabic historians of the later period. So what happened? Now history became a work of artifice, full of rhetoric, and an involved style replaced simple narrative. So after the introduction of the Arabic language, when they written about the Muslim history, now history has changed. History has given a new trend. This style was popularized by Tariq al-Yamini, composed by al-Utbi. In writing the history of Subkutin and Sultan Muhammad of Ghazan. One significant point to be taken note is that the subject matter of such historical writings produced under the patronage of the Sultan is more political than political religious. So what happened? The sultans they have also patronized the historians to write the historiography. So they have given importance to political and religious, not other things. Political means the history of the kings, and religious means on the Islamic religion. So it was at this unfavorable juncture that historical works began to be written in Persian. So gradually, from Arabian writings, it made a turn to write in Persian language. Before passing to discuss the nature of a Persian historiography, a brief reference should be made to the historians of Abu Rahi Han al-Biruni and uh, Ijuddin Ibn al-Asir. Al-Biruni applied mathematical and astronomical science to the determination of chronology in his Asar Bakra. So what happened? The most interesting thing is that Al-Biruni, he applied mathematical and astronomical. You see how it is interesting. Astronomical, and he applied mathematics in history to determine the chronology. Okay, then while Ibn al-Asri's history marks the re-emergence of the scholar historian alongside of official historian. Uh, Then the world famous historian Ibn Khaldan is a chronicler. His work is sometimes disappointing. He is, however, held in high esteem as a historical philosopher. His Muqaddimah is a treatise on philosophy of history. So it is a pity that in spite of the brilliant school of Egyptian historians in the following centuries and the vigorous cultivation of history in Ottoman Turkey, no historian one was influenced by his philosophy. So this is all about the Ibn Khaldan. So the difference between him and his predecessors is that the latter began from the global conception of a human society, where Ibn Khaldan begins from a dynamic conception of a human association. So Ibn Khaldan, he has given a dynamic conception of a human association, whereas his predecessors has given a conception of a global conception of human society. It was the difference between Ibn Khaldan and the other historians. So the state exists for the protection of people and ensuring the order in the kingdom. It may be also be added that he was not an irreligious man, he was a devout of a Muslim. However, in propounding his theory, Ibn Khaldan tries to reconcile the ideal demands of Sharia, Islamic law, with the facts of history. So always Ibn Khaldan, what he has done, that he has given importance to Islamic law with a history. So, so this is all about the Ibn Khaldan and the predecessors. So here I want to tell to Purnima Paigara, Purnima Paigara, who has asked me
Yes,
a
sir.
question D. Purnima,
Yes, sir.
D means died.
Yes, sir.
Okay, you can verify it in the letter answers. So it is a
Yeah,
new
I
form
was
of
telling.
Yes, sir.
it is a new form of writing style of the IGNOU. Okay,
Yes, sir.
okay. Then I am going to Persian historiography. This is all about the Arabian style, the Arabian language of historiography. Okay, so now we'll see Persian historiography. If you have any doubt, kindly ask me. Any doubt, please, or no doubt?
Sir, Ibn Khaldun has given importance to the laws of Islam.
Yeah.
And what about his predecessor? Like what how they are different from him? Can you just please explain?
Okay, okay. So what happened? um, the predecessors of Ibn Khaldan, they have given importance to the global conception of human society. ଆମ ପୃଥିବୀଟା ହଉଛି ଗୋଟିଏ, ଆମେ ସମସ୍ତେ ଗୋଟିଏ ଏରିଆର ଲୋକ ହେଲା। ପୃଥିବୀଟା ହଉଛି ଗୋଟେ ଗ୍ଲୋବାଲ ଭିଲେଜ। That conception has been developed before Khaldan. But here, what he has done from a dynamic conception of a human association. So he has given importance to the human association, but
Mhm.
they have given to the global human society. So it is the difference.
Okay,
Okay.
sir.
Eh?
Okay, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
So any question, please, Jyoti Chawla? Jyoti, I think no question.
No
No
doubt,
doubt.
sir.
Thank you.
No doubt.
So we will see the Persian historiography. This is all about the Arabian historiography. We have seen how Arab language took place and what is the contribution of Arabian language to historiography. Okay. So Persian historiography. So by the close of the 10th century AD, the non-Arab Muslims, the non-Arab Muslims, try to understand this point. The non-Arab Muslims, Arab Muslims and non-Arab Muslims in Iran and Central Asia felt the need to produce literature on Islam and its history in Persian language for the enlightenment of people. So the non-Arab people, they wanted to write history. So they have given importance to write history in Persian language. It is noteworthy that many of the earliest works were translations and abridgments of Arabic classics, beginning with the translation of Tabriz Tariq by the Samnid Wazir Abu Ali al Balami. Few of the local and dynastic histories written in Persian have survived, and there is little to distinguish them from the contemporary Arabic works. The surviving histories written in Persian by Abu Said and Abul Fazl Bahik are outstanding contribution to historical literature in Persia. So it is also to be noted that the celebrated works of Zainal Akhar, of Ghardaji, and Tariq-e-Ali Subakgir of Bahik were produced in the tradition of Arabic writers in Islamic history. Unlike the ancient Persian historians, their works are free from mythological elements or fiction. These works became model to inspire the long line of Indo-Persian historians. Of the several volumes of Bahik's Tariqs, only the related to Sultan Masud's reign has survived. So, my dear friends, in this unity, it is written that what is the contribution of Arabic language and Persian language on history. So how historiography has the scope of historiography, how it has made a tremendous change due to Arab and Persian language. So many historians they have given importance to write on historiography. First, they have written about the life and teachings of Prophet Muhammad. Then, after the socio-religious and political events have taken place. So, gradually, the historiography changed a lot. So, this is all about the Unity 9. So, if you have any doubt, kindly ask me.
Sir, I have a doubt.
Okay.
Sir, these non-Arabic people, these non-Arabs, they used to write it in Persian language because they did not have much idea about the Arabic language. So, did they follow the Arabic tradition?
Yes. ଶୁଣ ଗୋଟେ ଜିନିଷ ହଉଛି ଗୋଟେ କଥା ମୁଁ କହୁଛି ଆମେ ବର୍ତ୍ତମାନ ଦେଖିଲେ ଯେ ଇଣ୍ଡିଆରେ କଣ କୋଉ ପ୍ରକାର ଥିଲା ଗ୍ରୀକ ଆଉ ରୋମରେ କୋଉ ପ୍ରକାର ଥିଲା ସୋ ଗ୍ରାଜୁଆଲି ଇଟ୍ ଇଜ ଚେଞ୍ଜଡ ସୋ ଚେଞ୍ଜ ହଉଛି ମିନ୍ସ our historiography is enriched. So whenever we will see about the Arabs, we have seen that the Arabs has much contribution on historiography. So when the Persian people, they found that they have no historiography on Persian language, so they tried to read, so they tried to write it in that language. ଆମେ ଗୋଟେ ଜିନିଷ ଦେଖିଲେ ଯେ ଆମର କେବଳ ସାଂସ୍କ୍ରିଟ ହିଁ ରାମାୟଣ ଆଉ ମହାଭାରତ ଲେଖାଯାଇଛି ବା ସବୁ ପୁରାଣ ଯାକ ଲେଖାଯାଇଛି ଗ୍ରାଜୁଆଲି ଆମେ କଣ କଲେ ଆମେ ତାକୁ ଓଡ଼ିଆରେ ଲେଖିବାକୁ ଚେଷ୍ଟା କଲେ ଆମର ଯୋଉ ଓଡ଼ିଆ ଭାଗବତ ଏଟା ବହୁତ ଫେମସ ହେଇଯାଇଛି କାହିଁକି ନା ମୂଳ ଜିନିଷଟା କ'ଣ, ଯେତେବେଳେ ଦେଖିଲେ ଯେ ଆମର ଏଇଟା କେବଳ ସାଂସ୍କ୍ରିଟରେ ଲେଖାଯାଇଛି ହେଲା, ଆମର ଏଇଟା ଓଡ଼ିଆରେ ଲେଖାଯାଇ ନାହିଁ, ତେଣୁକରି କ'ଣ ହେଲା, ଆମର ରାଇଟର ମାନେ କ'ଣ କଲେ, ତାକୁ କ'ଣ କଲେ, ଓଡ଼ିଆରେ ଲେଖିଲେ ହେଲା। ସୋ କେମିତି ଏଇଟା ଏ ସବୁ ଯାକ ଜିନିଷ ହଉଛି କ'ଣ ନା, ହାଉ ଆମର ହିଷ୍ଟୋଗ୍ରାଫି gradually became a powerful one. So how its scope was gradually changed. This is all about the contribution of different languages on historiography. I think Jyoti, you are clear.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So now we'll go to the Unit 10, Medieval Historiography, Indo-Persian. So we have seen the Arabs. Now we'll see the historiography of Indo-Persian, whose questions you have raised. We will see now. Okay. So the Ghurian conquest of North India towards the close of the 12th century AD is an important event in Indian history. The Ghurian conquest. This is because an independent sultanate founded in its wake opened India to foreign influences on the one hand and led to the unification of the country under a strong center of the other. So what happened, what the writer wants to say, that when a foreign conqueror came to India, what happened? It has also positive and the negative effects. So what happened? It opened India to foreign influence. So naturally, it had foreign influence on our country or on our society. Then it is then gradually the unification of our country gradually it took place. So it is also attracted immigrants from the neighboring countries who represented different cultural traditions. So what happened by this invasion, different immigrants came from neighboring countries having different cultural traditions. ଧରିନିଅ ଏବେ ତମେ ଯିବ ଆମେରିକା ଯିବ, ତମେ ଯିବ ଇଂଲଣ୍ଡ ଯିବ, your culture is different from that. One of the traditions introduced by them was that of history writing. So gradually they took interest to write their own history. The study of history was considered by the Muslim elite as the third important source of knowledge after religion, scripture, and jurisprudence. So first they were given importance to the religious scripture, then the jurisprudence. So then they tried to the the study of history. Then they given importance to the study of history. Okay. With the coming of the with the coming of the Mughals in the 16th century, the tradition of history writing achieved a new height. So when the Muslim rulers they came to India, the writing achieved a tremendous. During Mughal period, the state patronized writing history, and we have a large body of historical literature. So what happened when the Mughals came to India, when the Mughal rulers came to India, they patronized to write history. In Persian spread over 2 centuries. So in this unity, we will analyze the tradition of history writing during the Sultanate and Mughal period. So we will see what is the contribution of Sultanate and Mughals on historiography. So first we will see the Sultanate period. Delhi Sultanate is concerned. We have a continuity of available text in Persian till the end of Sultanate in 1526. Apart from historical text, a number of other Persian works are available for the period. Abdu Razki Matla, Sad Dain, Trustees Sia Nama, Administration and Polite, Fakir Mubarak Adu E Harb Wasa are a few important ones. A few Arabic works are also available for the period Ibn Battuta and Shihab al-Din al-Umari have provided excellent travel accounts. So we know we have heard the name of Ibn Battuta. He was given an excellent travel accounts. Have provided an excellent travel accounts. Then the pioneers. The pioneer of history writing was Muhammad bin Masur, also known as a Fakar-e Mudabir. He migrated from Ghazna to Lahore during the later Ghaznavid period. In Lahore, he compiled Saraj-e Ansab, the book of genealogies of Prophet of Islam. So he has written a book on genealogies of Prophet Muhammad. His companions and Muslim rulers, including the ancestors of Sultan Mujahideen Muhammad bin Sam. This introduction narrates the life and military exploits of Kutubuddin Aibak. So here what he has done, he has introduced, he has narrated the life and military exploits of Kutubuddin Aibak since the appointment in India and up to his accession to the throne in Lahore in 1206. No doubt, Fakir-e-Mudabir composed the work in the hope of getting reward by eulogizing the reigning sultan. Nonetheless, the selection of historical material by him demonstrates the historical sense he possessed. So what happened? They have written history in order to praise the ruler and the king, along with the administrative reforms introduced by Aibak after his accession to the throne in Lahore. He also provided details of ritual that had symbolic significance. So, besides what he has done, he has given the rituals, the religious functions of his country. He has given in his book. For instance, he is the first historian who informs us about the ceremony of public allegiance paid to the new sultan on his accession to the throne of Lahore. He is the first person who informs the ceremony of public allegiance paid to the new sultans. So when they were giving any allegiance, it is also mentioned here. He states that Kutubuddin Aibak's arrival from Delhi to Lahore in 1260, the entire population of Lahore came out to pay allegiance to him as their new sultan. So all the people, they came and they refer to the king. They have given respect to the king or the ruler. The history of the Ghurian conquest and Kutubuddin Aibak's reign compiled in India. Another important work compiled by Mudbir is the Abdul Habs Sial dedicated to Sultan Samsuddin Iltutmish. It is written in the episodic form historiography. It contains chapters on the duties of the king, the functioning of the state, departments, war tactics, mode of war, war horse, their treatment, etc. So what happened? You see, here it is a new trend of history. We are observing what happened when he written about the historiography of Iltutmish. It contains chapters on the duties of the king, the functioning of the state, different kinds of departments, war tactics, mode of warfare, war horses, and the treatment. These are the new things introduced by him. The second important history of the Ghurian conquest and the sultanates is Tajul Masir. Its author was Hassan Nizami, migrated from Nishapur to India in search of fortune. In Delhi, he set to compile the history of Kutubuddin Aibak's achievement after his accession to the throne in 1206. The motive behind writing was to gain royal patronage. So, what happened during the Sultanate period? The historians they wrote history for the purpose of to gain royal patronage. So, it was just to praise the ruler. The preface is followed by the description of the Second Battle of Torain. No mention has been made of the First Battle of Torain, in which Prithviraj Chauhan had defeated Sultan Muhammad bin Sam. So you see how they were praising to the ruler. Um, then from the year 1192 up to 1196, all the historical events are described in detail. The results of Ivak's accident death in 1210 disappointed the author, who seems to have stopped writing. So this is all about, you see how they tried to praise the ruler and to get benefit from it. When Ibex died, he left to write history. So it is, however, to be admitted that in spite of all hyperbolic used in page of Iltutmish, it is to the credit of the compiler that he was able to collect authentic information about every event that he describes in his work. His description is often very brief and at times merely symbolic. So what happened? Though these books were written in the page of a ruler, since then it is some important sources we are now referring. So this is all about. Then the compilation of Minhaj Siraj Juzani of his Tabakat-i-Nasir was epoch-making in the history of history writing. Minhaj Siraj Juzani was also an emigrant scholar from Khorasan. He himself served under different Ghuriyar princes and nobles before his migration to India. In 1227, he came to India and joined the court of Nasiruddin Kawacha. He was appointed the head of the Firuji Madrasa or government colleges in Ucha, the capital of Sultan Nasiruddin Kawacha. Then he served as a Gwalior under Iltutmish Sultan. So this is all about. Later on, he rose to the position of chief Qazi of the Sultanate during the reign of Sultan Nasiruddin Muhammad. It was during the reign of Sultan Nasiruddin Muhammad that he decided to write history of Islam up to his own time in an attempt to distinguish his work from those of Fakir-e-Mudabir and Hassana Najim. Minhaj adopted the Tabaqat system of history writing. Acha. So this is all about the history of Sultanate period. So if you have any doubt, kindly ask me, or we will go ahead. So here then there is nothing to understand. Just you have to see who were the historians and what was their works. Any Jyoti Chawla?
Yes, sir.
I will go ahead or anything?
No, sir. No doubt, sir.
No doubt.
Sir,
Then Angali,
sir,
any
sir,
doubt?
whether the all historians means history writers were outsiders.
Oh, yes, yes. So you see, these are the Mughal rulers.
Yeah.
They came
Yes.
from outside India. So they have written history in order to praise the ruler and to
Okay.
get
That
benefits
that
in the court.
yes,
Okay,
sir. That
okay.
yes, sir.
Any
That
question?
sir,
Any question from any side? Purnima,
sir,
Paikra,
sir,
Purnima. Okay.
sir, sir, whether the history writings for the kings were biased.
It is not audible. Please make it clear what you have asked.
Sir, whether their writings of history were biased.
Yes, yes. It is biased.
Yes.
because
Biased.
they have written history for the page of the ruler. But one
Ruler.
thing, one interesting thing is that though they have written for the page of the ruler, still then
Mm.
they have used the authentic sources. Whenever now
Okay.
we are going to read their history, now we are able
Mm.
to understand what is their lacunas, what they have
Mm.
written. But in
Mm.
spite of all these lacunas, they have verified or they have given importance to the important source materials. Okay,
Okay, sir.
okay, okay.
Thank you,
Then
sir.
anything, Purnima Pagra, any doubt? Any doubt, please? Purnima, or no question, I think. Hello? Hello, my dear friends. Any question, please?
No, sir.
No
Hello?
doubt?
Question, sir. No,
No,
sir.
no.
Only will be difficult to remember the name, sir.
Again, please. It is not audible.
So
Purnima?
it will be difficult to remember those names.
Yes, yes. The history and the historians, it is very difficult because all are belonging to the medieval period. So it is very, very difficult. I agree with you.
Yes, sir.
Now we will see the 14th century historiography. Kindly make a refer to 24 pages, 10.2 point. Okay. So, so what I want to say, one thing that we will see how historiography is enriched gradually through gradual process. This is all about that. How Arabs, Arabian language, how Persian language, how different historians came, and what was their notion, what purpose they have written history, and history was not written for a historical purpose. So this is all about the historical writings or historiography. Still then, historiography, the scope of history is changed a lot. It is widened through different phases. Okay. Now we will see about the 14th century historiography, what happened. Many scholars seem to have written the 14th century histories of Khilji and the Toghlaq Sultan. Ghiyasuddin Barani mentions the official history of Sultan Alauddin Khalji's reign by Kabiruddin, son of Tajuddin Iraqi, but it is now extant. Amir Khusru also compiled the Khazi Nur Food, devoted to the achievements of Alauddin Khilji. So it is all about the achievements of the ruler. The Futuhus Sultani of Islami is the versified history of the Muslim rulers of India. It begins with the accounts of Sultan Muhammad of Ghazni's reign and comes to a close with that
Hello?
of, okay, okay. Any question, Subhasri? No question, I think. Okay. Alauddin Bahman Shah, a rebel against Sultan Muhammad Tughlaq in 1350. Uh, uh, then Jayuddin Barani includes one of the Islami family in the list of the leading nobles of Sultan Balban Islami. He himself was brought up by his grandfather Izuddin Islami, a retired noble. He was still in his teens when his family was forcibly shifted to Daulatabad in 1327. His grandfather died on the way, and the young Isami was filled with the hatred against the Sultan Muhammad to leave it. The early part of Isami's narrative is based on popular legends and oral traditions which had reached to him through the time. So here one interesting thing is that in writing history, legends and oral traditions, religions and oral tradition entered into the historiography. Okay, so it was his account of the early sultans of India is also based on popular tales which historical facts available to him through earlier works. So popular historical facts, traditions, legends gradually entered into the historiography. The Indo-Persian historians of medieval India, Barani, born in aristocratic family and associated with the royal court of Delhi for generation, he was obviously concerned with the fate of Delhi Sultanate. He seems to have believed that it was his duty to present through his Tariq-e Firuz Shahi, an intellectual composition for the enlightenment of the ruling elites of his times. Borani's Tariq begins with the accession of Sultan Balban to the throne of Delhi in 1266 and comes to a close with the account of first 6 years Sultan Firuz Shah Tughlaq's reign in 1356. Borani's Tariq is unique to the Persian history writing tradition prevalent till his times. Alauddin Khilji, he provides an analysis with the cause and a formulation of the policies and their impacts. So here what happened, some historians, though they have biased, but still then they have written the important events of the rulers. Borani also declares that the job of the historian is not only to eulogize the deeds and good works of the rulers, but also to present to reader a critical of the shortcomings and the drawbacks of the policies. So it is one of the most important point. So you have to remember it. So Borani, what he has done? So he has a beautiful opined that he is not at all biased. So he told that it is the duty of the historian not to eulogize, not to praise, rather to bring to the light the accounts of his shortcomings and drawbacks of his policies. It is a beautiful and it is a most important thing how this point is entered into the historiography. Borani, with the inclusion of details about the cultural role performed by intellectuals, scholars, poets, and saints. Borani's style of history writing inspired the historians of the subsequent period, many of whom tried to follow his ideas. So, what happened during 14th and 15th century historiography? It turned a new change. It has entered a new scope of history because here Barani wanted to say that the job of the historian is not to praise the ruler, rather to find out his shortcomings and drawbacks of the policies, which is a new thing, a new trade entered into historiography, and his successors followed it. Okay, so now we'll see late 14th century histories. What happened? The manuscript copy of Sirat-e Firoz Shahi available in the Khuda Bagh Library, Patna, does not contain the name of its author. Besides the details of military and hunting expeditions led by Sultan Firoz Shah, interesting information about religious sects, Sufis, ulemas, social ethical matters, science and technology such as astronomy, medicine, pharmacology, etc. It is really a compendium of many sides, activities, accomplishments, the construction of canals and water reservoirs, the foundation of new cities with the forts and repair of old monuments are also described in detail. So what happened, my dear friends? You see how history has gradually changed. The construction of dams, the construction of the buildings, the pharmacology, the history of medicine, the astronomy gradually entered into the historiography. Okay. Then some Siraj Afif Another historian of the period seems to have served the Sultan during the last years of Firoz Shah reign. He tells us that his great grandfather Malik Sahib Afif worked as a revenue officer in the province of Dipalpur under Ghazi Malik during the reign of Alauddin Khilji. As chaos and anarchy began to prevail after the death of Firoz Shah, he seems to have retired and devoted himself to writing the history of the Sultanate from the reign of Sultan to Ghiyazuddin Tughlaq Shah. So you see, my dear friends, nowadays to be a historian is very difficult, and no one will be interested to write a history. Okay, but during that period, when one persons retired from the office, you see, they devoted their time to write the entire history of the ruler. This work of his is full of nostalgia and portrays Firoz Shah as a saintly ruler whose presence on the throne saved Delhi from every calamity. So he is like that of a spiritual biography of a saint. So this is all about the historians of the late 14th century historians. Then we will say the 5th century histories. In the 5th century, a number of historical accounts were compiled about the individual kingdoms and were dedicated to the regional rulers. Sahib Hakim compiled the history of Malwa and named it after Sultan Muhammad Khalji as a Masir-e-Muhammad Shah. Abdul Hassan Tuni, a migrant scholar from Iran who had settled in Ahmedabad, wrote Masir-e-Muhammad Shahi during the reign of Sultan Muhammad Shah Begra. Both the works are extant. Another worth mentioning history is the Tariq-e-Muhammadi compiled by Muhammad Bihamad Khana, resident of Kalpi. It is written in the Tabakat from beginning with the rise of Islam in Arabia. It is a summary of the Tabakat in Nasir. So, my dear friends, this is all about the 8th, 9th, 10th, and 14th century history and the historians. This is all about that how history has changed its scope. The scope of history changed a lot. Now we'll see historiography under the Mughals. You will get some interesting thing from this. So if you have any doubt, kindly ask me. If you have any doubts, kindly. Any doubt, please? Shraddhanjali? Subhasri
No
Tripathi?
doubt, sir.
Any doubt?
No doubt, sir.
No doubt. Subhasri Tripathi? Jyoti Chawla?
No doubt, sir.
No doubt. So there is nothing new, but here we will see how history has changed its scope, how new things entered into the history. This is all about this. So from 10.3, you will get some interesting things we will discuss. Okay. Historiography under the Mughals. So under the Mughal rulers, how historiography changed now we will see. The most dominant feature of the historiography of the Mughal period is the tradition of history writing by official chroniclers appointed by almost all Mughal emperors till the reign of Aurangzeb. So what happened from Babur to Aurangzeb? These rulers, they appointed the different persons to write their whole history. It is the most interesting and new form, because here history got its the royal patronage to write their own history. These chroniclers were appointed by the emperors, and all official records were provided to them for the purpose. So what happened? They have been appointed by the rulers. At the same time, the different kinds of records they were given in order to verify. Uh, Another salient feature of the period is the autobiographical account written by the emperor themselves. So here, what happened? The autobiography was also written by the ruler. Tuzuk-i-Babri in Turkish and not Persian by Babur. Tuzki-i-Jahangir in Persian by Jahangir are important works in this genre. So this Tuzki-i-Babri and Tuzki-i-Jahangir, this is an autobiography written by the ruler himself. Apart from the official work which had obvious constraint, a number of independent works were written by the independent scholars. So besides, also a number of independent workers also there, those who have written the beautiful history on the Mughal period. So we will see what are the works. Zahiruddin Muhammad Babur, who invaded India and supplanted the Lodi rule by his own in 1526, was a prolific writer. So Babur, he himself was a writer. You see how it is interesting. He himself a ruler. He himself was a prolific writer. He wrote both in mother tongue Turkish and in Persia. His autobiography Tuzki-i-Babri, written in Turkish, is a literary masterpiece. So it is a masterpiece. It is one of the most important work containing the history of the decline and the fall of the Timur power in Central Asia. His own biography, the description of life and culture in India, and the diary of events that took place in the course of campaigns he led against his rivals in eastern India. So he has given a vivid account on the conquest and the different culture and society of Indian people. Babur's account of Central Asia and Khursan is marked by objectivity. However, his account on his dealings with the ruling elite in India lacks objectivity. So, Babur is full of praise of India's resources and the availability of skilled craftsmen and artisans in the towns and cities. So, Babur, what happened? He has praised on the Indian people and the Indian continent. And he has opined that India has vast resources and skilled craftsmen and artisans. Babur's son and successor Humayun, he was also interested in history. He commissioned a renowned scholar, Khawad Mir, to compose the history of his reign. So the interesting thing is that these rulers, they appointed a historian to write their own history. Uh, uh, Humayuni, it sheds interesting light on Humayun's state policy, particularly towards the Indian nobles and landed aristocracy. So it is all about the history. So it is a tremendous achievements of historiography. So now I will come to the Akbar's reign. If you have any doubt, kindly. Hello, Jyoti,
No doubt, sir.
any question?
No, sir.
No. No. So how historiography gradually changed? This is all about this. Now we will see Akbar's reign, official histories. Akbar proposed to have a written history of the Muslim rulers from the death of the Prophet up to his own time. So what happened? Akbar appointed a historian to write the history from the death of Prophet Muhammad to his own time on the completion of the first millennium of Islam. That means history of 1000 years. So he has appointed some persons to write the history of 1000 years called Tariq-e-Alfi. Uh, at Akbar's instance, Gulbadan Begum, the daughter of Babur, Bayezid, Bian, and Johor Apta Beach, put down their reminiscence in a book from Gulbadan Begum's memories entitled Human Nama is an important source as it sheds light on the lives and culture of the royal harem. So he has written about the royal harem, about the queens. They have mentioned it. All these works, these are all the works. I am not going through all the works. You will read it. All these works served as sources of information for the compilers of Tariq-e-Alfi and other histories of Akbar's reign, including Abul Fazl's Akbarnama. So, not satisfied with the account of his reign in the Tariq-e-Alfi, Akbar ordered Abul Fazl to compile the history of his reign, beginning with an account of Babur and Humayun. So, Abul Fazl was selected for the task because he had identified himself with Akbar's views and religious inclination. So, what happened? The rulers appointed the persons whom they were satisfied. Okay, he wanted to be remembered in history as a insan kamli, perfect man. So he wanted to be remembered in history as insan kamli, a perfect man gifted by God with the full knowledge of divine unity. So therefore, in compiling the Akbarnama, Abul Fazl was able to come up to the royal pattern of expeditions. So Akbar ଭାବୁଥିଲେ ମୁଁ ହଉଛି ଗୋଟେ ଗଡଙ୍କର ଗୋଟେ ଗିଫ୍ଟ ଏବଂ ସେ ଅନୁଯାୟୀ and I have divine knowledge ଏବଂ ସେ ଅନୁଯାୟୀ ମୋର ହିଷ୍ଟ୍ରି ଲେଖିବା ଦରକାର ଏବଂ ତେଣୁକରି ସେ କ'ଣ କରୁଥିଲେ ଆବୁଲ ଫାଜଲଙ୍କୁ ସେ ନିଯୁକ୍ତି କରିଥିଲେ. He presents Akbar as a cosmic man entrusted by God. So ସେ କ'ଣ କଲେ ନା he was a gift of God. So he is a cosmic man. Abul Fazl, like this, he has written. Then his mission is said to liberate people from Talik tradition, lead them to truth, and create an atmosphere of concord, so that people following different sects could live in peace and harmony. He was shown as a light emanating from God. So how Abul Fazl narrated about Akbar. So he has narrated, and why he has done so? Because Akbar has also the ambition. His history should be like this, like he is a gift of the God. He has a cosmic light on him. So his main notion is that all the sects, means the Hindus, the Christians, the Muslims, all will follow him, that he was a great person. So the Akbarnama and Ain-e-Akbari provide exhaustive details of the events and policies introduced by Akbar till the year 1602. However, Abul Fazl fails to mention or raise any issue which cast any aspiration on Akbar. It is true that the Ain-e-Akbari abounds in economic details, but these details do not tell us anything about the life and condition of the mass peasantry or working class. So in Ain-e-Akbari, Abul Fazl, what he has done, he has given everything is correct, but he has not written anything about the working class people. The Ain-e-Akbari contains statistical details which are a valuable source for the study of economic history, but artisans or peasants are completely absent. The Ain-e-Akbari, the third part of the Akbarnama, is a unique compilation of the system of administration and control through the Department of Governments. Akbar is the genius who evolved key reforms including Aini Dasla, 10 years settlement, and revenue dusters. The reader does not find the spirit of Akbar's age Akbarnama that was successfully depicted by Abdul Qadir Baduini or even Naziruddin Ahmad. So then other records of Akbar. Nizamuddin Ahmad and Abdul Qadir Baduin are two important historians of the period. Nizamuddin was the son of Khabaz Mukuddin Harawi, a noble Babar, and Humayun, a well-educated man. He was interested in the study of history and literature. When he looked up the project of writing history of Indian 3 volumes, he employed men like Masum Bakri to assist him and to provide information about the different regions of his empire. His first volume deals with the history of the Muslim rulers of India up to the fall of the Lodi dynasty in 1526. The second volume contained the account of the Mughal rulers of India up to 1593. The third volume deals with the rise and fall of the regional kingdoms in India. So this is all about Akbar's reign and the non-official historians here. This is all about the historiography, how historiography gradually changed. So my dear friends, if you have any doubt, kindly ask me. I think no question, Jyoti Chawla.
No, sir.
Jyoti,
No,
no
sir. No
question?
question.
No
No.
question. So there is no problems regarding this because this is all about the history and the historians and about the books. Okay. So what happened? Now we'll see Jahangir's reign. What happened? Akbar's son and successor Jahangir decided to write autobiographical history of his own reign in the tradition set by Babur. He requested Sheikh Abdullah Haq to add in his Tariq the account of his reign also. But the Sheikh was too old to take up the work, yet his son Qazi Nurul Haq compiled the history of Judus Tawarik and closed it with the account of Jahangir's reign. As regards Jahangir's own memories, Tijik-i-Jahangiri, it is a major source of his reign. So the principal events connected with the rebellions, the role of the imperial officers, their promotions, their punishments, as well as the diplomatic relations between India and the other foreign powers are described in a lucid style. So this is all about the foreign policies of Jahangir. So now we will see the Jahangir's reign. Then Mutmad Khana set to write the history of Ibal Ma Jahangiri after Shahjahan's accession to the throne. His aim was to justify Shahjahan's rebellion against his father because Nurjahan Begum wanted to harm him. It is divided into 3 parts. The first part covers the history of Babur and Humayun. The second part contains the accounts of Akbar's reign, while the third is devoted to Jahangir's reign. Like Mutmad Khan, Khawaz Kamgar, Husani also came from a family associated with the Mughal court. His account from 19th year of Jahangir's reign is his original work and is an important source for the events that took place during the last years of his reign. He furnishes detail about the role played by Prince Khusru's supporters to secure the throne for him, leaving Jahangir aside. No other historian supplies this information. He also portrays Jahangir as a naturalist, describing Jahangir's interest in flora and fauna, animal breeding. In short, Masri-i-Jahangiri is one of the major histories of Jahangir's reign. So I am not going detail. So next I am coming. So, so now coming to the Aurangzeb's reign, it is one thing. One interesting thing is that the Emperor Aurangzeb also followed the tradition of Akbar and Shahjahan. That means Aurangzeb also interested to write the history of his reign. He appointed Muhammad Kazim and the son of Muhammad Amin Kazvini to write the history of his reign. An order was also issued to the officer in charge of the royal records to make over to the official historian all such state papers as were received from the news writers and other high functionaries pertaining to important events. The volume produced was called Alamgiri Nama. This volume reads as a panegyric in prose, portraying the emperor as a special recipient of divine grace and endowed with the supernatural powers. So what happened? The historian of Aurangzeb's period, when they write history about the role of Aurangzeb, they have also written about Aurangzeb that he was a god, that he was a gift of the god, and like this, and his divine grace in a supernatural, he has supernatural powers. So you think disgusted with the flattery and exaggeration. So Aurangzeb is the first person of the Mughal among the Mughal ruler who has disgusted with the flattery and exaggeration, and he banned history writing, saying that the cultivation of inward pity was preferable to the ostentatious display of his achievements. So what happened? She forbidden to write his own history because you see Aurangzeb's policy, though we are blaming him that he was not a benevolent ruler, but his administration was what type you see. He simply ordered not to write his own history because the persons who are praising him, who are eulogizing him, that is not the actual history. So, my dear friends, try to point out this point. The cultivation of inward pity was preferable to the ostentatious display of his achievements. Try to remember this is the most important sentence, and while you will write the historiography, try to remember and try to produce it in your paper. So, my dear friends, this is all about the historiography. So, I am coming to the conclusion. Among the Muslims elite, history was considered as the third important source of knowledge after the religious scripture and jurisprudence. So, after religion and jurisprudence, history is the next third third important source of knowledge. They were accorded great importance after the establishment of Delhi Sultanate in the closing years of the 12th century. So, history has taken place a great importance. The pioneers of history writing in the Indo-Persian tradition was Muhammad bin Masur, popularly known as a Fakir-e Budabir. His writings included a book of genealogies of Prophet Islam and the Muslim rulers, including Kutubuddin Aibak. Minar Siraj Judani was another important historian of the 13th century. However, the most important figure in the Indo-Persian historiography was Ziauddin Barani in 14th century. His Tarikh-e-Firaz Shahi is a milestone in the tradition of history writing in medieval India. Abul Fazal, Nizamuddin Ahmad, Abul Qadir Bahadur, Khawaz Kamagar Husani, and Abdul Hamid Lahori were some of the important historians of the Mughal period. So, my dear friends, with this, I have completed the Unity 10th, perhaps it is Unity 10th, medieval historiography and Indo-Persian. So if you have any doubt or any question, you can ask me without any hesitation. Hello, Jyoti.
Yes, sir.
Hello. Any
Yes, sir.
question, please? Any
No, sir.
question?
No, sir.
No question. Okay. Then from Subhasri Tripathi, Subhasri, Subhasri Tripathi, I think she's not listening me. Rakesh Kumar Raut, Rakesh Kumar Raut, Bonampriya,
Yes, sir. No question, sir.
no question, thank you. Then Sadhanjali Barik, Sadhanjali,
Sir,
any question?
can you tell me that point where it lies? You said that point we should mention it in the while an answer sheet.
Which point, which of Aurangzeb's?
Yes, yes.
Yes,
Where it
that
lies.
is the page, yes, that is the page 32.
Hmm.
1,
Page
2, 3, 4, 4 para, last, you see.
fourth
This
para
ghosted
last.
with flattery and a exaggeration. One,
Third
two, three.
para.
Okay, no, no, last, no, 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 last. It is 1, 2, 3, 4, fifth para.
Fifth para.
10.3, 10.3.6, you see.
Yeah.
Okay,
On
10.3.6 is the first para.
first para.
The last three lines you see.
Okay, okay, sir. Got
The
it.
cultivation of inward pity was preferable to the ostentatious display of his achievements.
Hmm.
Try to mention it because positively you will get to write such a question and try to
Hmm.
write in your answer script. Okay.
Okay, sir.
So
Thank you, sir.
anything Subhasri, Purnima, Purnima Paikara, Purnima, Sustri Sangita, Santoshini, Santoshini Maharana, then Lakshmipriya, Samila Behera,
No
Vishwajita
question, sir.
Mahanti,
No
Samila,
question,
have
sir.
you any
No
doubt?
question. No
No
question, sir.
question. No question. Thank you very much. Then Vishwajita Mahanti, Vishwajita, I think she has not attended the class. I think I am not finding her. Anyway, Kavita,
No
Kavita,
doubt, sir. No doubt,
no
sir.
doubt, no doubt. Thank you very much. Then Ambika, Sonu, Ambika Sonu, I think she is not also here. So, my dear friends, one more class is with you that we will make a discussion tomorrow. That is the local history. So, with this, we have already discussed about the various points about the development of historiography in various times. Is not it? Is not it? I think. Hello? Hello, my
Yes,
dear
sir.
friend.
Sir, yes,
Yes.
sir.
Yes.
Yes. So we have seen how historiography gradually developed. We have seen first how it is developed in Greek and Roman, Herodotus, Thucydides, Livy, Tacitus, how they have written. And what was the motive? Then we have also seen the historiography of Chinaji during Chinese period because Chinese were very interested to write their past history because they are still now they are the worshipper of the their um, predecessors. Okay, so then we see the historiography in the early India, how historiography started in Mahabharata, Ramayana, Purano, then the dating, how it is developed. So now we have also seen the historiography in medieval historiography in Western period, how they have given importance to the church, pope, or clergies. So what was happened during the medieval period in European world? So now we will discuss about the historiography during the contribution of the Arabs, the contribution of the Persians, the contribution of the Mughal rulers, and how Aurangzeb was exceptional from it, and he didn't like the flattery or the praise of the other persons, because the motto of the historian was to praise the ruler, not to write against his country. It was the motto of that. He has not followed the historians of the medieval periods. They have not followed strictly according to the rules and regulations. Means they have not followed its objectivity, but their main motto was how to get an entry to the Mughal court. But one interesting thing is that the Mughal rulers, the Mughal emperors, they were very much interested. So they have employed so much officials to write their own history. And though they were praised, but one interesting thing is that one important thing is that they have they have verified, they have scrutinized, and they have gone through the original sources. Because why the Mughal rulers, they employed their court officials. Their officials they have employed to write their own history. So this is all about the historiography in during different phases. Okay, okay, my dear friends. Okay, okay, Rakesh. Hello.
Thank you, sir.
Hello.
Thank you.
Okay. So, my dear friends, now I am conclude. I want to wind up here. So one more class is with you. Tomorrow we will have a discussion. So before going to have a discussion or take to your class, so try to read about Unity 11, your local history. Okay, look in this unity, local history or oral history, how local history and oral history has taken place, and micro history. So here one thing is that in local history, now local history, the historians they have given much importance to local history, how to write local history, and what are the important sources to note down, and how to use the different sources. It is all about the local history. And another thing is that oral history also here. So in my next class we will discuss about it. Okay. So so anything if you want, you can ask from any units. Jyoti?
No doubt, sir.
No? Okay. So Purnima Paigara? Purnima Paigara? Purnima, I think he could understand. She has a question about D. Purnima, it is not audible, I think. Anyway, have you any class after 8 p.m.? Jyoti? Hello?
No, sir. No
No
classes.
class, is
No,
there?
sir.
So kindly inform to Vijay sir. Okay, we will wind up here.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Sir,
So I think tomorrow will be the last class for you, and
sir.
I'm also thankful to you, sir, for uh, interacting such a nice topics with the students and the important things what you are discussing with the students. Definitely, it will help them. And sir, uh, the way you are discussing, the way you are interacting is really is wonderful and excellent. And I
Thank you,
hope
sir.
the students are understanding. And that is why no question is coming from the student side. It indicates that uh, it really helping the student, and the student are really understanding the concept very clearly, so that no doubts, no uh, difficulties are coming off. Or so I'm very much thankful to you, sir. And now, friends, MHI 6 will start from day after tomorrow, and at the same time, and new resource person, and new interaction, new discussion will take place. Then it will followed by your MHI 9 and 10. So the series of I hope the series of discussion will go on, and be patient and listen to the resource person carefully, and so that it will be more fruitful, because the university, this is the people's university, the university of the people. And in the so the university is very much serious about conducting the online classes for the students, and so that they can get benefit out of it, because face-to-face teaching is not possible, face-to-face counseling is not possible at this point of time. There was a threat of infection, there was a you can say fear of infection. So that is why all the study centers have remained closed, and even all the offices, regional centers also have remained closed throughout India. It is not the case of regional center Bhubaneswar. It is the case of all over Indian scenario, and almost all the regional centers have closed, and all the you can say of all the departments and at the headquarter also has remained closed. So please, those students who have not received the study materials, uh, please use the soft copy for the time being, and be patient and think about the seriousness of this pandemic. And we are thinking that many students, they were writing different kind of mails to RC Bhubaneswar, that when we'll get the materials, when we'll write the exam. So this type of question, obviously, this type of question is it can be raised by the student, but nothing is in our hand. It is in the hands of the government, and the government will follow the government directives, follow the directives of the MHRD, will follow the directives of honorable vice chancellor. So we cannot we can say uh, because everything will come by post. When the postal department locally it is operating, locally it is functioning, but all the you can say major activities have remained suspended. And that is why I try to understand me and understand those big organization, largest university in the world, and think about the lakhs of students and who have been like you suffering from this kind of crisis. So be patient and help the system to run properly, so that you can win over the pandemic. With these few words, once again I extend my gratitude to the resource person, Dr. Kumar Sarangi, for sparing his valuable time with us, interacting with us, discussing the important topic with us. And I also uh, thanks my uh, student friends, and really with patience they were listening to the uh, resource persons carefully, asking question whenever is required, and maintaining discipline in the online platform. Thank you very much, sir. Uh, Good
Sir,
night,
thank
sir.
you. Sir, thank you very much, sir.
Okay, sir.
Thank you. Thank you. Good night, sir.
Vijay sir?